Hey, yo, what's up? And what's happening? What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Thursday night, Showdown, Slate. Bunch of wild stuff going on. And yeah, we're going to need to wait till 6:50 to get some finalization of the news. It seems like Aaron Jones is going to play. There's a little bit of uncertainty in his role. I have him projected for about 80% of his workload right now. Makes me get him a decent amount, but not a ton in the captain spot, which I feel fine with right now until we get more news, if we get more news. And then Richie James is the other piece of news that he is questionable right now. What's up, everybody? Alan Lazard has been ruled out. A bunch of other players have been ruled out. There's some players that are maybe in play, right? We're going to go through this. I'm going to answer your questions. I have my 150 max lineups right now that I already know I'm going to have to redo, more than likely, depending on this Aaron Jones and Richie James news as we get some more information over these next 2.5 hours or so. Have my projections up on the other screen, projections and rankings, a bunch of stuff. I see everybody in here right now. What's up? What's going on? No Good Comics. What's up, everybody? Justin screaming, the fellas. Yo. How's everybody doing right now? How y'all doing? I see y'all in here. What's up? What's happening? We're about to start this up. I'm going to take a lot of questions in about a second. I just want to let you know that if at any point during this video that you enjoy the content, and if you're not, maybe you have to double check, you're not sure, hit the like and subscribe button. I greatly appreciate all of that. Thank you in advance. And the video is sponsored by SuperDraft. I'll talk about some of the projections on SuperDraft now that I have them done, because the multipliers for SuperDraft Slate tonight were not out this morning, or at least the last time that I checked. So SuperDraft, there's some nice plays. There's going to be some, I would say, very interesting plays that maybe not a lot of people scroll down to the bottom to get to. SuperDraft, again, Kevin's been dominating one of the patrons. He's already up to like $30,000 plus in SuperDraft in the last month and a half, and that's real money, or month and a half, I would say, probably. And that's real money. So, yeah, be sure to check it out. Promo code SAL, S-A-L. Get you free money up to $1,000. $1,000 Rooskies. 50% deposit match. You put in 100. Bam, you get 50 in a slow drip format. All linked down below. Promo code SAL to take advantage of that. I have my projections and rankings up on my other screen for Draftkings, for SuperDraft. Any questions, let me know. Let's fire away. Let's get this thing going right now. The only thing I'll address before I start getting into questions, which I'm sure it's going to come up in the questions, is what do we do with Aaron Jones? Well, Dexter Williams does not look like anywhere near the same type of play if Aaron Jones is going to play. There are, in my opinion, a couple things that can happen tonight. Either Aaron Jones is going to be an emergency back because they don't have anybody behind Dexter Williams, and Tyler Ervin really isn't that much of a true running back. So he'll either be an emergency back like we've seen out of Jerick McKinnon like 2 weeks ago when Jeff Wilson got hurt. He actually saw some work. Or Aaron Jones is just going to go out there and play his normal role. Now, I know online you're seeing that he's going to be limited, all this stuff. I'm projecting him for 80% of his workload. That can change depending on the news that we get in the next 2 hours. I'm kind of hoping he just sits out, right? But the way that this Packers news, or the way that this Packers team has been this year, being very conservative with their players, I don't think he's going to be coming in here, Aaron Jones, and just playing 20% of the snaps just for the hell of it, right? Aaron Jones is in this game today because he is healthy. And they're either going to use him knowing that he is healthy and they want to use him, or they're going to be playing it cautious and just having him there in case of emergency, in case Dexter Williams and Tyler Ervin get hurt in this game, right? So I think those are your two things. I don't think you see a scenario tonight where Aaron Jones only has 10 carries for 70 yards, unless he comes in the second half because guys got hurt. I think Aaron Jones gets his full workload tonight, or Aaron Jones is going to go out there and just be an emergency back that literally does not take the field. Hopefully we get some more of that news before this goes on, because that's going to be a major impact. So let's get into some of these questions now. Let's go, Sal. Hitting the fan. What's up, James? How you doing? Mark Turner donates $5 Rooskies. He says, Sal, you should start a private class on how to build lineups. Sunday mornings on Patreon. I do my Patreon show, the podcast, 40 minutes for GPPs. So that is that. That's like a weekly podcast. I go through my rules exposures. I kind of go through the game theory of why I'm getting a lot of another guy because of who he's paired up with and why that's not that good of a play. So yeah, I do that. I do that right now on every Sunday morning on Patreon. Sal, a.k.a. Browse on Fleek. Yeah, I haven't gotten these things done in like a month and a half because my barber's been out of town, and I don't really trust these other guys who, I wasn't going to say jabronis because the guy I went to last time was pretty good. I just don't trust them right now to be shaping up the eyebrows, so these things are running a little bit wild right now. Blake asks, Kevin White, ? It's funny because Kevin White's like basically the only like standard outside possession receiver on this team, but he's just not good, right? He's not good at this point. He's been cut by the Jets in the preseason. Have you seen the Jets' depth right now, right? They're running out Braxton Berrios and Chris Hogan to this point over what could have been Kevin White. So Kevin White's just not good. But yeah, will he get opportunity? I think so. I think they're going to run a lot of 2 wide receiver sets, try and put Trent Taylor, Richie James on the field a lot on the outside, which isn't going to be that great as Trent Taylor's usually a slot wide receiver. So I think Kevin White will touch the field. I haven't projected for a couple of receptions, but there's some other guys down there that look a little bit better. What's up, Sal? Anybody on San Francisco D sitting out because of COVID? They had the list of like the guys that were around. It was a false negative anyway, so nobody actually has COVID, at least based on the most recent news. The entire San Francisco D is like banged up at this point. They're either banged up, traded, so it's a little bit all over the place to this point. I'm trying to pull this up right now to see if there was specific players in the defense that have to sit out tonight as well. Jimmy Garoppolo and George Kittle are officially now on injured reserve. Okay, I'm just looking at some of Schefter's stuff from yesterday. This man just posts so much of everything going on. So Brandon Ayuk, offensive tackle, Trent Williams, and Deebo Samuel were the only guys that were put on because of that. My dude Sal, favorite captain tonight, says Andrew. Yeah, my favorite captain is more than likely going to be Devontae Adams. There's so many cheap guys, so I'm just going to take the guy who's literally averaging 27 fantasy points per game. And on a bad night, I think that he probably still scores upper teens in fantasy points tonight. Hasty is looking better, though. Yeah, I like Hasty over McKinnon tonight. It's a pretty easy decision for me. Hasty's going to get the early down work, and he also ran not similar routes to like the same extent, but he ran 14 routes to McKinnon's 22 last week. So if Hasty tonight goes out there in a situation where he's getting the early down work, has 10 or 12 carries, and he's running 16 to 18 routes depending on game script, at the worst, he runs 12 to 15 routes. There's no Coleman in this game like Coleman started the last game. Maybe get 15 opportunities for Hasty, some goal line work as well. So I think both are surely in play. I just prefer Hasty a little bit more right now. Do you like Jordan Reed tonight? Yeah, I like Jordan Reed tonight. I don't think he's going to be limited based on the fact that he's actually active. And look, I mean, Kittle's one thing. Kittle's a fantastic tight end, so any quarterback's going to target Kittle. But Mullins just, every single time out there, just honing down George Kittle. Hopefully, and you saw it last week, he threw a touchdown to Ross Dwelley. Hopefully that means that Jordan Reed gets some usage. Reed's been playing like 60% of his snaps out of the slot this year. So if they go to 3 wide receiver sets, you might actually see Jordan Reed in the wide receiver position in the slot, and that can hurt Trent Taylor's upside because he basically just runs like 5-yard routes out of the slot. It's brutal to like Trent Taylor. I like him because he's so damn cheap at $400, and if he gets you 7 fantasy points, it's going to be fine for you. It's like a kicker's projection for $4,000 less. But Trent Taylor is going to need volume. He's going to need 6-7 targets, which he can get because there's nobody else out there. But his like average depth of target, like he has no yards after the catch ability. His average depth of target is just absolutely brutal. He's running like 5 or 6 yard routes out of the slot. And there's a chance he can actually come off the field now more since Jordan Reed is active. So he's so cheap, $400 at 3 receptions probably gets it done for you. So yeah, Hasty or AJ? Hasty or AJ in terms of Aaron Jones or Hasty? I'm going to probably right now have more Hasty. Can you play both Hasty and McKinnon at GPP? Yes, I don't have any rules against it tonight. Any thoughts on the spreads and the over-under? I got the Packers at -1 early in the week, and then I got really lucky that their entire fucking team got put on IR for San Francisco, their quarterback, their tight end, more wide receivers, right? So I have the Packers -1 at -7, -7.5. I don't really have a stance. How crazy am I for playing White in the captain spot? Yeah, you're pretty crazy. I think that there's a chance that White could run like 25 routes tonight. There's a chance, but like I think he's just bad. Like this is the thing with these types of players, right? He can have opportunity. He can see 4 or 5 targets tonight, but he would have to do something that he's never done since college, and he's never done that in the NFL, partly because of injuries, and that's probably the big reason why, because of injuries. And then just after that, he's not been the same player. But like you're a practice squad, the last guy in the practice squad, barely in the NFL for a reason. Like now when you're going to go up against Jair Alexander, the number 1 cornerback in the league as of right now for this season, you're not just going to magically, because you got 5 targets, have 4 catches, 80 yards and a touchdown, right? Like if he sees 5 targets tonight, I'd be happy if he brought in 2 of them for like 40 yards. At $200, that's nice, but you're on a slate where there's a couple of other guys, namely Richie James and Trent Taylor, and to an extent still Tyler Ervin. I don't have any interest in Dexter Williams if you want to assume that Aaron Jones does have a full workload tonight with him being active. So, yeah, this slate's difficult. I wouldn't really recommend if you're a first-time 150 maxing, if you're trying to put a lot of money on it. Normally, I don't do that on Showdown slates, and I don't recommend that. Definitely not tonight, because Aaron Jones, I think, will literally either not touch the ball tonight and be there for emergency reasons, or he will have his full workload, and we might not know that before the game starts. How is Super Draft not available in PA? We get everything. Yeah, honestly, you do get everything. Not available. Drive over to the New Jersey border, depending on where you are. By the way, your friend Kelly Olynyk, horrible suggestion on Brate. My friend Kelly Olynyk, what do you mean? Cameron Brate had 2 catches for 34 yards. Everywhere across the industry is projecting for 2.8 fantasy points. I bumped that bad boy up to 5 before the game started because of Kelly Olynyk's call. George Little, as somebody called him. I mean, I can't believe you just said that. That was a horrible suggestion. The man was like $1,400 and he scores 5.4 fantasy points. You kidding me? Like, that is literally the definition of doubling your projection. That's fine. It wasn't fantastic. By no means was it horrible. I think that is an above average outcome for Cameron Brate. 2 catches, 34 yards, 5.4 fantasy points on DraftKings. You had him in your lineup, it definitely didn't kill you. If you lost, it was because of something else. Any word on Richie James' status? No. Richie James and Aaron Jones' status and anybody else who's potentially inactive tonight will be known at 6:50 p.m. East Coast time. All inactives for every NFL game are due in an hour and a half before the game. How much Mullins will be owned tonight? How much do I have of Mullins tonight? I have 5% Captain Mullins and 48% in my utilities. You're asking me how much will he be overall owned tonight? I think Nick Mullins will probably come in. Also, big announcement, DraftKings, Patreon is now going to have ownership as of tomorrow. We will have ownership for the NFL games as of tomorrow and potentially golf starting next week. So ownership is now on Patreon as of tomorrow for the main slate. So that's a big announcement. That's another tool that's going to be added to all of the tiers, at least in the NFL tiers. I think Mullins will be highly owned. I mean, I think based on the price point, you're going to have Adams and Rodgers, the two highest owned, and then I think that Mullins will probably be the next highest owned. If we get positive Aaron Jones news, he's fully going. I know that we're getting news right now that he's limited and all this stuff, but if you get news that's positive on Jones to expect his like 15 plus touch workload, then I think Jones becomes higher owned than Mullins. But right now, I think Mullins will be the third highest owned player. So I just want Scantling to come through one time, but I am tired of burning money. Yeah, I mean, MVS, he's just a downfield target. And last week, he actually should have had a touchdown. Rodgers put the ball in the right spot. MVS is wide open, and the defender smartly just tackles him, right? So he should have had a touchdown last week. He's getting open. Like, MVS is nowhere near a fantastic wide receiver. He's a one-trick pony, a deep threat. But he had the red zone target last week, and he was just tackled in the end zone because the defender was beat and was like, well, might as well just try our luck at the 1 yard line instead of an automatic touchdown. Sal, do you think Hasty is a good play in the captain spot? Any word on Richie James? Hasty in the captain spot seems okay to me. It's not something I'm dying to do. I have Hasty in the captain spot, I would say a decent amount. I would say that my Hasty captain spot ownership is probably above the field, but I think that Devontae Adams in the captain spot just looks too good not to go to. Like when the guy scores 20 points, nobody else is going to score 30 on this slate probably. And then also because of Devontae Adams' price point relative to his quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, I actually do like Rodgers tonight because of the fact that Rodgers is a decent amount cheaper than Devontae Adams. So like Adams going for 23 tonight and Rodgers going for 22 might actually give you Rodgers in the captain spot, or even Rodgers going for 20 because he's $1,400 cheaper. So Adams has the higher ceiling than Rodgers by far, in my opinion, as a wide receiver. We've seen it this year multiple times. 28 plus fantasy points per game. Rodgers at just 23.8. But I have a lot of both of them. My captain exposures are going to be pretty overwhelmingly those two players tonight. Is Dexter Williams no longer a factor in this game? It's up to you to decide unless we get more news. This is your opportunities tonight. Aaron Jones, they're saying he's going to be limited, whatever it might be. I think he's either going to be an emergency back and not touch the field, or I think he's going to get his normal workload. If he gets his normal workload, Dexter Williams is dust. Dexter Williams sees 2 to 4 touches. If he's an emergency back, Dexter Williams sees 12 to 14 touches. I don't know if we'll get that news, so it's a pretty risky choice either way. Because Dexter Williams $200, and obviously Aaron Jones is a lot of money. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of dead lineups either way tonight. Either people that play Aaron Jones and he's an emergency back, or people that play Dexter Williams and he's just kind of not out there at all because Jones is playing. So I don't have that answer for you. Hopefully at 6:50 they just tell us Aaron Jones is out, so we don't have to deal with this. But I'd assume that tonight Aaron Jones is either getting a full workload or he's going to be an emergency back, and we might not get that news. Do I start Jordan Reed or Jonnu Smith? I would be going with Jonnu Smith. Jordan Reed. I go Jordan Reed. Will you get to any Robert Tonyan? Not really. I'm going to be below the field on big old Bob Tonyan. I'm probably going to be like a quarter of the field on him. Chaos equals opportunity. Yeah, chaos usually equals opportunity. Chaos usually equals cash. You also just have to guess right tonight. Not only do we have normal chaos tonight, we actually have a situation where we don't know if a running back on a team that is going to be a favorite in this game by a touchdown, one way or the other, the very cheap one in Williams or Aaron Jones, one of them is going to be coming out here and probably having a good performance. Definitely, if it's Dexter Williams at $200 in winning lineups, if he has a good performance, we just don't know what's happening with Aaron Jones fully. Favorite play in Super Draft? I signed up today. What's up? Welcome to Super Draft. Yeah, be sure to use the promo code SAL if you want to get in over there. My highest projected play in Super Draft right now, if you don't have access to the projections, is actually going to be Trent Taylor. He has currently I believe Taylor has a 3x multiplier. So Taylor's my number one projected play. I would say that Hasty looks a little bit more stable, though. Assuming that Aaron Jones misses, who do you go with between Irvin and Williams? I'd probably have equal, very, very close amounts of both because they're the same price, and I have them basically both for like 11 fantasy points. I was in the money all night Monday on DK. If you told me to pick one for sure, I'd probably go with Dexter Williams. I was in the money for sure. Paying up for your Showdown projections is a great investment. Thanks, Sal. Nice, Miguel. Welcome. Yeah, so Showdown projections, I mean, they're going to help you a ton. Ownership now coming as of tomorrow. They're going to help you a ton without a doubt. But you're going to get your big payoffs on these main slates where you have a lot more edges to exploit. Just so many edges to exploit, actually stacking things, ways to get correlation and take advantage of it. Showdown slates are going to be very variant, but we've had success on Showdowns this year. Sternberger love? No, I don't have any Sternberger right now. No interest. My 2 games screwed with Jones and COVID. Nice. Dexter dust regardless. They will throw. I don't think that that's the case. So Dexter Williams, being a Packers fan and being very in tune, they don't like him. At least that's what it shows in all the media and all the sentiment. I don't know how much we can actually believe that. But Tyler Ervin is not an actual running back. He has not actually taken a legitimate snap this year. It's end arounds and it's just short targets, right? So Tyler Ervin is legitimately not a running back. He does not practice with the running backs. He practices with the wide receivers. He's labeled as a running back. I don't know why. He takes end arounds and he gets just receptions. I guess out of college he was a running back. The only actual running back that's going to be playing today, not fullback, not gadget guy, if Aaron Jones misses, is Dexter Williams. So as a touchdown favorite team, if you're trying to tell me that they're going to throw 70% of the time and they run, let's just say tonight on offense, let's just say they run 50-something plays on offense, you're going to still have like 15 carries there or close to it for Dexter Williams. So I think Tyler Ervin is in play because I think he'll be involved in this scat backfield, have like 4 or 5 targets, and I have him close to 10 fantasy points. But Dexter Williams is by far, like, on the ground, pure runner, going to get more work than Tyler Ervin. He's legitimately the only running back that practices with the running backs that's going to be playing tonight if Jones misses. I don't know if a lot of people know that. Tyler Ervin literally does not practice with the running backs. He practices with the wide receivers. He does not have a carry in the backfield this season. All 4 of his carries are end rounds. Mullins or Hasty? I will have more Mullins. I'll have more Mullins overall. If I factor in captain, I'll have more Hasty. They both look good. If you told me to pick one, I would probably be picking... Hasty. Richie James, why? Well, if you have not kept in touch right now, Brandon Ayuk and Kendrick Bourne are out. Richie James, if he is indeed active tonight, will be the wide receiver 2 on this team. In my opinion, he will be the best wide receiver on this team when you factor in that Trent Taylor is not that good and he's a slot receiver. So if Richie James is going to operate as a number 1 outside receiver tonight, if he is indeed healthy and active, he's questionable right now, well then yes, you're going to be getting Richie James in your exposures. You don't have to have an overwhelming amount. I don't have an overwhelming amount, but right now I have 29%. Making a quick text. Does 49ers have any viable throwing targets? Yes. Lovett could be a sneaky 1 catch and a tutty. Yeah, I don't even think it matters. What about Kyle? What about Kyle who? Juszczyk? Yeah, Kyle Juszczyk I have for like 3.5 fantasy points. Not much interest. How much St. Brown do you have? I have 0% St. Brown. McKinnon and Hasty together, I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's okay. Sal, would you start Hasty or Aaron Jones for your normal fantasy football league? I would probably start Hasty if you need to be safe. If you don't need to be safe and you think that... So if you think you're going to win your lineup or you think it's going to be close, play Hasty to be safe. If you think that you need a high upside, I would play Aaron Jones. Bourne's COVID test was a false positive. Correct, but he still can't play today. What about the Packers defense? They are the only defense or kicker I'm playing tonight. I'm not playing kickers tonight. I excluded them, and I will play the Packers defense. I have 7%, which I would assume is probably below the field. Yeah, it's going to be like a third of the field. What percentage of Adams in the captain spot do you think there will be in 20 max? Do I think there will be? Like, what percentage do I think that the field is going to own Adams in the captain spot tonight? 35%, something like that, a third of the lineups. How much Adderall do you take, Sal? I've never taken Adderall in my life, and that's about that. Yeah, not big into the drugs. What about the Packers defense? Yep. Tonyan or MVS tonight? I have more MVS. McKinnon or Reed tonight? I think I have more McKinnon right now. Yeah, I have more McKinnon. Hey, Sal, will ownership be including with the basic membership and Patreon because we was going to sign up this week? Yeah, so the only thing not including in the All Sports package or the NFL Basic, if you're going to sign up for NFL Basic, sign up for All Sports so you get the golf and NBA when that returns. There's no difference in the NFL stuff. But the thing that you will miss out on, you will not have Showdown projections or Showdown ownership or rankings for Monday and Thursday night slates. That will only be in the Priority and Hall of Fame package. You also will not have Discord access. So you can sign up for the All Sports package for $19.99. That will include ownership, but not any of the Showdown information, projections, rankings, all that stuff. Pretty dumb that he can't play after a false positive. I mean, a lot of the false positives, at least Ian Rappaport reported that like 80% of them have actually come back that the player has COVID. So I think that we have to look into it a little bit more before saying that the rules are dumb. Because if he goes out there and he plays and he actually has it and the whole team gets infested and then the NFL shutdowns, I don't think people will be screaming, it's pretty dumb, right? Like, he literally got put on the COVID list yesterday. They cannot come off. That's the rule. They cannot come off just the next day. You have to look into it a little bit more. You have to take multiple tests and have multiple days in between. I think that is a fine protocol if that keeps the NFL going. And we don't get to play Kendrick Bourne on a Showdown slate. I'm very willing to give that up. Your boy just signed up for Patreon. Says, Zach, let's pay this weekend off. Let's go, Zach. Let's go. Is McKinnon Hasty Reed a fine combo? Sure. How do all the guys affect how do all the $200 guys affect your salary cap limits? Yeah, it's not going to affect it as much now without any Dexter Williams in my exposures. I don't have any Dexter Williams unless we get Aaron Jones news being out. I'm not getting like a ton of Kevin White or River Craycraft. I'm getting some. But I don't have any like major differences in my rules. I'm keeping the similar rules that I usually run, leaving a good amount of money on the table, not a shit ton. Well, some of them will have a shit ton on some of these lineups, but I'm basically leaving the same rules I always do. The $200 guys, they'll just leave some more money, I assume, in some of the lineups, like an extra. I have $3,000 on the table in this lineup, $900, $800 in this one, $3,400 on the table in this one, $3,500 on the table in this one. 800 in that one, 15. So it's all over the place. It's just going to leave more money on the table. What's your projection on Donald Driver? I have him at 17.1 fantasy points tonight. What do you think about running both Dwelly and Reed? Yeah, I think they'll run a lot of 2 tight end sets tonight because of the dust receivers that they'll be throwing out there. But I still don't have much interest in running them in the same lineup. Any Dwelly with Reed active? I currently have 2% Dwelly in 3 of my lineups. Favorite captain on Superdraft. Just signed up today. Use your promo code as well. Nice, Jonathan. What's up? Appreciate that. Thank you for supporting the stream, myself, Superdraft, all that type of stuff. So if I'm going just based on my projections on Patreon for Superdraft, Trent Taylor is my highest projected Superdraft play. Jermichael Hasty might be the more solidified play. Yeah, I mean, Devontae Adams looks great, but he only has a 1x multiplier. So when you have like Trent Taylor having a 3x multiplier, if Taylor just has a decent game, get you close to 10 fantasy points, you're going to be in the business with Trent Taylor in your captain spot. Sean Morrison, he donates $10 Rooski. Sal, a.k.a. Browse on Fleek. You mentioned Mullins liking tight ends. Is Richie still viable with Reed expecting to play, assuming both will be on the field? Or is Taylor the better play if Reed does not play? I mean, so thank you for the super chat, Sean. Appreciate you. Awesome. The Reed is playing. So Reed's already playing, so he's playing, so you don't have to worry about that part of it. Richie James and Trent Taylor will be the top 2 wide receivers, I believe, tonight. After that, I think it will be Kevin White as the third option if they run a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, which I think Shanahan's going to be okay running the ball a ton and using 2 tight end sets. I'm not concerned about Richie. I have, out of those 3 players you just mentioned, I basically have Trent Taylor and Jordan Reed projected the same, and Trent Taylor's a lot cheaper, but Richie's pretty close as well. So, yeah, I don't have any issues with Richie. Jordan Reed playing, yes, obviously if Jordan Reed was out, it would help Richie, it would help Trent Taylor. Him being in will knock their projection, not in a major way, but some. Packers are my easy survivor pick. I think that's fair, yeah. Who's your highest projected player after Mullins on San Francisco? Jermichael Hasty. How would you approach a single entry contest tonight? I would take my 150 max lineups. I will sort right now by my highest projected. So I would project out a ton of lineups, sort by my highest projected, and I would start to look at the top 20 projected lineups, and I'd start to look at the ones that correlate nicely and the ones that I like. I would also not be playing in single entry fields that have a lot of people. I play in single entry fields. I don't really play single entry 3 max. I did for the first time this year in Showdown on the last slate single entry. And we actually cashed. We played the 180, and I think we made like 300 or whatever, like the next above min cash is. So that was cool. So I think I'm just going to run that bad boy back, play the $180 tournament tonight. But I wouldn't recommend playing in a huge single entry tonight. If you want to, and if you don't want to take that advice, that's fucking fine. Like, it's your life, do your thing. But I would just be going by my highest projected lineups personally. I mean, that's how I build my single entry lineups. I crunch out a bunch of lineups and then I sort by highest projected and I look at the top 20. I say, okay, which ones are going to be a little bit lower owned? Which ones leave some money on the table? That's a big thing that I would do as well. Unless you're playing in a contest that only has like 100, 200, or 300 people. If you're playing in one that has 10,000 plus people, leave a lot of money on the table, yes. So you like Richie James over Trent Taylor? I currently have a lot more Trent Taylor than Richie James. What's your exposure to Joe Montana tonight? I'm fully fading Montana. I think he'll be highly owned, so I'm just going to go away from him. Did I just hear Donald Driver, or am I high? There's a really good chance that Keaton, you might be high right now, but Donald Driver is projected for 17.1 fantasy points. What percentage of captain... Your question got jumped. Sorry. Oh, here we go. What percentage of Adams captain do you think there will be in 20 max? Okay, so I answered that earlier, Benjamin, but to answer you again, because you might be on a delay, you might not have heard, you might have been getting some dinner, you might have been washing your kid, you might have been washing your dog's ass, you might have been doing whatever you're doing. I'll answer it again for you. I have. Right now, I think that Adams will probably be in a third of the lineups tonight in the captain spot. If you change your projection without Jones playing, who gets the biggest boost? Dexter Williams, without a doubt. Dexter Williams and also Tyler Irving, but Dexter Williams goes from like 2 fantasy point projection with Jones playing to 10 plus. Could you all wait a second and let the boy ask one question? God damn. Uh-oh. Taylor or Reed tonight? I have more Trent Taylor, but I think both are firmly in play. Mohamed Sanu going for 15 points. That man not even on this team, bro. Sal, do you like olives? Yeah, I like black olives, but not them green ass like Kalamazoo, whatever ones. Kalamazoo, Michigan. Shout out Derek Jeter. Is Mohamed Sanu even playing? Mohamed Sanu is not. No. Hey, Sal, would you trade Mixon for Michael Thomas? I got Sanders and Dalvin Cook as my running backs. I would want Mixon. What's your story to tell tonight? What story you want me to tell? I'm going to be going to hit some golf balls after this. That's one story. Sal, Jones will be activated but will be used cautiously. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. I don't know where you're reading that report. Unless there's a recent report within the past couple of minutes, that'd be great to know about. But the most recent report I said that Jones might be limited tonight, right? That's what I saw, that Jones might be limited tonight. So, yeah. Aaron Jones is either going to be an emergency back tonight because they only have 2 active running backs, one of which is not even really a running back, right? Tyler Irvin is a wide receiver. He practices as a wide receiver. He's labeled as a running back. So, yeah. That's all I got. I mean, I don't know. Aaron Jones, if you think he'll be an emergency back, don't play him. If you don't think he'll be an emergency back, play him. He's going to be highly owned either way, at least relatively highly owned. You're a big believer in telling a story for the game. Mind sharing your story for tonight? Am I a big believer in that? I don't even know if I've ever even said that. I think that game flows and projecting game flows are good. Yeah. I don't really like... I'm not going to like sit here. I portion my lineups to have like 25 or like 30 lineups with different types of overall, I would say like stacking rules. So I don't have like one specific way that I think the game is going to go. The most obvious way is the way that Vegas thinks. The Packers take the lead. JaMychal Hasty gets a decent amount of work, but not a ton because they're behind. McKinnon runs more routes, that type of stuff. But I have like 5 or 6 different projected game flows out right now in my lineups. And then I combine all those 20, 25 lineups, sort them all down and take them in. Roland Knight. Sal, what's your 40 time? Never ran the 40, but that's not probably fast. By the looks of me. Sal, would you say mix it for Michael Thomas? No. Why don't you have Tonyan as a yes? Because he's expensive, and that's basically it. He had career high numbers last time. I don't want to chase career high numbers for an increased price point. No real interest in Tonyan. I have like 5% Tonyan. He's just very expensive. Robert Tonyan right now at his price point of $6,400 is projected for less fantasy points than 3 guys I have in the $200 and $400 range. So it's tough to want to get there. Pick 2, Hasty, Swift, Evans, Claypool. Thanks, bro. Yeah, no problem, man. I'll be going with Claypool and Hasty there. Thank you for the $2 donation. I appreciate you a ton. Man, I just got off work. Quick recap, please. Yeah, ask a question. What you got? You think Taylor feasts more than Reed on defenders out of the slot? I mean, I think Reed would feast on defenders. Taylor is only going to be a volume guy. Taylor is not a good wide receiver, right? He'll run his 5-yard route, and if he gets his reception, he gets a reception. So you're just hoping for volume. There's a lot of guys out. I think that Jordan Reed is the better play, but he's also more expensive. So Taylor's fine. Can you comment on playing both McKinnon and Hasty? Yeah, I think that's fine. I'm not a strong advocate for it, but I don't have any rules against it. Is $7,500 too much left over? I mean, if you're playing like 2 guys in the $200 range, probably not. Why don't you have Tonyan as a yes? No interest. St. Brown impact? Not much. I wouldn't play 150 because this game is weird. Or wired, you said, but I think you meant weird. Yeah, that's fine. That's your choice. That's fine. Trent Taylor or Jack Doyle? I'd be going with Trent Taylor. Will you have Mullins and Hasty together? Aiden asks. Yeah, good question. I will. On a showdown slate like this, I definitely will. I don't have any issues playing a quarterback with a wide receiver on a showdown slate because it's only one game, right? They don't have to negatively impact. Like if Hasty tonight at his price point goes out there and has 1 catch, 20 yards, or 1 catch, let's say 7 yards to be more realistic, 13 carries for 70 yards. Even if he doesn't get into the end zone, that's 9 fantasy points. It could get you there, but he gets in the end zone, 15 fantasy points. Nick Mullins can still score 15 fantasy points just because Hasty found the end zone once. Best place to get boozed up in State College? Yeah, probably not much right now. I mean, when I was there, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for like some throwback 2000s music, the Gaff. If you're just looking for a pretty solid, really good time with a bar upstairs and downstairs, Champs is going to be your spot. If you're looking for like kind of almost like a nightclub, really cool spot, the Basement. If you're looking just for country music, Pickles. It depends on where you're trying to look for. If you're looking just for like a lounge and a hangout spot, not a lot of people really like it. But there's a spot all the way down Beaver towards the east side of it. I can't even remember the place now. It's like a hookah lounge / just like a lounge in general. Can't remember the name of it. Chrome. It's called Chrome. Will you have Mullins and Hasty together? Yes. Alrighty. Corvette Foster donates $5. He says start Dwelly over Tonyan. Trent Taylor over Deontay Johnson. No, you're starting Deontay Johnson and you're starting Tonyan. Sal, I will regret keeping McKinnon on my bench tonight season long. Right now I have Jonathan Taylor, Chris Carson, and J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, I would keep McKinnon on your bench. Since Aaron Rodgers isn't on tonight's slate, is Nick Boyle the best play? Yeah, I would go with Nick Boyle. Appreciate you. Actually, we might have to just go right back to our guy. I think we're going to have to go back to Cameron Brate. He did us good last time with his 2 catches. Dwelly or Reed tonight? Reed. Appreciate you responding. Best of luck tonight with the DFS and wrecking some golf balls. Thank you. Appreciate you. MVS or Irvin? Last one in. Last one in your lineup for MVS or Irvin. If Rodgers does play a good amount, I would be going with MVS and a GPP for higher upside than Irvin. I have a good amount of Irvin, like 20%. I have similar amounts of MVS, but if you're telling me for one lineup, I would want the upside of MVS tonight, especially if Jones is going to play. Where do I find up-to-date injury reports? Go to Twitter. The injury reports and inactives tonight come out at 6:50 p.m. You can go to the teams, the Packers, or the 49ers Twitter pages, their team page, and they will announce them at 6:50 p.m. Matt Flynn playing tonight? No, he only had 6 touchdowns one time against the Detroit Lions. He can't do it again. Yeah, Chrome, exactly. What about River Craycraft? Yeah, I have about like 8% River Craycraft. That might be too high. Look, if Richie James is playing, I'm not going to have much River Craycraft because he'll then be like the wide receiver for tonight, and he's basically a slot receiver. I think he'll be the backup at that point to like Richie James. They got I think Richie James is an outside receiver, but he can very much be a slot receiver. He played 30% of his snaps out of the slot last year. Like Kevin White's an outside receiver, but Trent Taylor's a slot guy. And then like this Finkel guy and Craycraft are both slot guys that they brought up. So they got a lot of slot guys out there tonight. I don't think they're going to be playing them all. Can you please say the words Gyalf and schmack in the same sentence? Yeah, so I think tonight I'm going to schmack some golf balls. Fuck, I fucked that up. I think tonight I'm going to schmack some Gyalf balls. There you go. I don't know if I'm Boston in that one or New York or old Italian woman from Boston. I don't even know. Mullins or Reed tonight? I'll have more Mullins. How much run do we really think Aaron Jones will get? I either think he'll get 0 run or his full run. I don't think there's an in-between. I think he'll either be an emergency back tonight and doesn't step on the field and pisses a lot of people off and makes a lot of people happy, or he'll get his full run. The Packers coach, this Packers medical staff, especially against this depleted 49ers team, they're not going to run and let Aaron Jones touch the ball tonight if he's actually banged up. So I don't think he's coming out there and getting 7 carries tonight just for the hell of it. That's not going to happen. I think that Aaron Jones is either getting his full workload or he'll be an emergency back tonight. Which one of those? I don't know. I'm currently projecting him for basically very close to his normal role. Once the 650 injury reports come out, I'll make my final decision. Right now I'm leaning to just play him as if he's playing. I also don't play my normal anywhere near a couple $1,000s in exposure like I do on Sundays, right? I'm not going to be doing that on a showdown slate. So if Aaron Jones comes out there, if I end up playing Aaron Jones tonight and in my exposures and he comes out there and he's an emergency back, well then fine. I don't have anywhere near the amount of money I usually have on Sundays on these types of showdown slates. I don't think you should. Zach donates $5. He says, I signed up for Super Draft today. I found it hard to pick the lineup. What is the best strategy to picking one? It's a lot different than DK. Yeah, it's a lot different. It's a multiplier format, Zach. If you have my projections, it's just projections. It's projections based, and then obviously keeping in mind that there's like 400 other people that have access to those projections on Patreon, so you can't just make the optimal lineup because you'll split it some ways. But projections and having an idea of ownership matters. It's that simple. You don't have to worry about stacking over there, especially on a showdown slate. People, don't be stunned if San Fran wins on the last-minute field goal. Yeah, don't be stunned. If Rodgers gets hurt, that could be a possibility. All right, we're live for 35 minutes right now. Ducky Bands donates $2 to the stream. He says, McKinnon or Hasty tonight? I have more Hasty. Kyle Juszczyk will get touches. Yeah, I think Kyle Juszczyk will probably see like 3 or 4 touches. And at $1,000, it doesn't make him a terrible play, but in the fact that there's 3 to 4 guys below him that will see more run, maybe even 5 or 6, I can't get there too much. All right, everybody, if you're still watching right now, oh my God, there's like almost 1,300 people. I think we just broke a record. We're about to hit 1,300 motherfuckers in here right now. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you all. $1 million up top. Please do hit the like and subscribe button. If you're not yet subscribed to this channel, let me know if you're brand new here. If you just subbed or you're about to sub for the first time, double check to make sure you are subbed and that you just like, I am subscribed. I subscribed a while. Fuck, I didn't subscribe. Appreciate that a ton. We're approaching 32,000 subscribers, so I would really like to try and get there maybe by the end of next week, but maybe even by the end of this week. I think by the end of this week's a possibility. By Sunday, let's try and get there. Maybe even tonight if you guys are feeling it. What to make of this? The Green Bay Packers confirms Aaron Jones is expected to be active for Thursday night's game against the 49ers, but that doesn't mean he'll have a full-time load. Yeah, he's either going to be an emergency back and not have a snap, to me, in my opinion, or he'll have his full workload. That's how I'm taking that. Who catches passes for the 49ers? Both tight ends will catch passes. The 2 to 3 starting receivers, and McKinnon more so than Hasty, but both running backs. Sal, were you upset the Packers didn't add another offensive weapon before the trade deadline? I know you're a Packers fan at heart. Yeah, no, not really. A lot of people wanted to make a big deal out of Will Fuller. Obviously, I sent the tweet out. I hope they get Will Fuller today. But the whole deal about Will Fuller doesn't make sense unless they were going to be getting a fair contract for him. He's a rental. He's a 7-game rental. You do not give up a second-round pick for a 7-game rental. In my opinion, you don't, unless it's like a guy who's definitely going to put you into the Super Bowl. Will Fuller's not that guy, especially when you have Devontae Adams. So the only thing the Packers could have done was given up a later round pick and signed Will Fuller to a bigger contract. You can't sign Will Fuller to a bigger contract when Devontae Adams is due for a contract soon. He only makes $14 million to begin with, and now Will Fuller wants that Keenan Allen type money that's about to come out, and some of these other guys like Michael Thomas, like $20 million. You're just not getting it done. So I'm not mad that they didn't sign him. You're not going to give up that much money so then you can't sign Devontae Adams, right? And then you're also not going to give up a second round pick for 7 games of a player. So I would have liked to gotten Jamison Crowder. Apparently that wasn't even on the table. It's just rumors. Will Fuller definitely didn't make sense. So I don't know who you're getting weapons-wise. There's not much more of a market. The time to do it was the NFL draft, and they fucked that up. Lazard is out, yes. Are we going 100% Adams tonight? I currently have, let me tell you how many lineups of Devontae Adams I have tonight. I currently have 39, what is 39% plus 59%? 98? Is that what it is? I currently have 98% Devontae Adams. I'm pissed I don't have 100 though. You never said anything about Robert Tonyan? Yeah, I have 5% Robert Tonyan. I have guys that are $200 projected out better than him, so that's why. Pick 2, Hasty, Gurley, Justin Jackson. I'll go with Hasty and Justin Jackson. Sean donates $5. He says, will you send updated Patreon projections when injury reports come out? Also, what's your thoughts on how this game flow goes? I think the game flow goes to Packers. It stays a little bit close. They're going to try and run a lot San Francisco, so you're not going to have as many possessions. Maybe the under's a decent play then. I don't even know what it is. I don't have a lean or a bet on it. But I think that the Packers just have the lead for most of this game, a commanding lead. Rodgers throws a lot. I have no idea what this whole wrench thrown in with Aaron Jones. I'm hoping he's just ruled out in 25 minutes. Will I update the Patreon projections when the injury reports come out? Yeah, reports will come out in less than a half hour, 27 minutes to be exact is when they're due in, and then a couple minutes to get them up on Twitter. So, yeah, I'll have updated. The only way that you're going to have an updated projection from me, though, is if Aaron Jones is ruled out. Or Richie James, right? So if Richie James and Aaron Jones are both in, everything stays the same. I have Aaron Jones currently projected in for his 80% usage role, basically, is what I put on Patreon. That gives you a little bit of a buffer. If I project him in for 100%, you're going to get a lot of Aaron Jones captain spots as well if you're playing a lot of lineups, and that's just going all in on risk. So 80% gives you a good amount in your utility, a decent amount in your captain spot, but not to a point where if he was 100% going to get 100% of snaps. I think we have to build in the risk a little bit in those projections. Taking a shot on Gary Bussey. Don't even know who that is. Jordan Reed or Nick Mullins. I have a lot more Nick Mullins. I can see a lot of field goals tonight. That's fair. Per Peter Schrager, Packers running back Tyler Ervin is nicknamed Swerve. Expected to get the bulk of the carries this evening. I'll have to look at these updated reports if they are any. Yeah, I'm not really seeing much. Let me see that guy who you just said tweeted that. Let me find this guy's Twitter. Peter. I mean, the nickname Swerve doesn't really mean anything to me. But let me look up this Peter Schrager guy or whatever his name is. All right, Peter Schrager. This is the guy on NFL Network. I never knew his name. Thursday Night Football tip. That was 3 hours ago. That doesn't matter now. So that tweet that you're looking at was 3 hours ago. That was before the news came out that Jones will be limited or potentially used tonight. Packers have no problem sitting their guys. Exactly. If they didn't need Aaron Jones, he wouldn't be active. That's not true. Aaron Jones could be active tonight as an emergency back. They only have 2 running backs on their active roster, and really they only have 1 running back on their active roster because Tyler Ervin is not a traditional running back. He practices with the wide receivers. So Aaron Jones could be active as an emergency back tonight because what happens then if Dexter Williams gets hurt? You're going to run a guy who cannot pass protect in Tyler Ervin and literally cannot run in between the tackles? No, because in every single play you're going to be like, okay, they're obviously throwing the ball. So I agree that in normal situations, if Jamal Williams and A.J. Dillon were going to play tonight, he would not be active, right? So, but there's a chance that he's just active as an emergency depth piece if the worst case scenario happens. The Packers aren't going to let Jones sit and take the risk of losing to San Fran. They're going to play whoever is healthy to get the win. Yeah, if he plays, if he's active tonight, you do not know, though, if he's going to be an emergency back because they don't have depth or if he's just going to be full-on going. That's the issue. Justin Pauls, what are your favorite contests? I currently play in too many big money tournaments and seems like I'm just pissing away a few $100s a contest. Should I play head-to-head smaller? You should not play. If you're actually trying to grow your bankroll and you're having an issue with losing, don't play Showdown slates. That's the easiest thing. Just don't play them. They're awful for growing a bankroll. Single entries and 3 maxes, and the biggest thing is just find small field sizes. Stop playing the Millie Maker where you're never going to win anything in that. You're going to try and people tell me, oh, but you can min cash. Okay, I can make more money just playing in the head-to-head streets with much less risk, right? Winning 50% of the time and not 20% of the time, right? Like the Millie Maker. Millie Maker has way too many contests in it or way too many entries. Play small field events. I normally will play a lot of single entry and 3 max with only a couple hundred people in the tournaments, sometimes only like 140 like last week. The 777 only had 140. I had both of my lineups cashed, one at the 30th place, the last person to cash, and one like around 17th. So it's a lot easier to cash in those. Obviously, you're playing tougher opponents, but there's still contests where that are only $3 entry fees that have a lot smaller contest prize pools, right? Or contest prize pools one, but also entries. The problem is you're not going to win $1 million, but you're probably never going to win that. So you might as well just try and play for the couple $100s up top and then slowly grow from there. You're going to continue to lose if you keep playing 1 or 2 or 3 lineups into these large field GPPs unless you somehow bink those top 1 or 2 or 3 prizes. If Aaron Jones is ruled out, who are you thinking? Dexter Williams and Tyler Ervin. Should I replace Dwelly lineups with Reed? Yeah, I would. Ducky Bands, I would. Sal, you think Dwelly gets the red zone targets over Reed? No, I do not. What about Jay Sternberger? No interest in Jace tonight. According to Adam Schefter, the Packers plan to be careful and do want to see how he feels pregame with his calf injury, but he's expected to be up tonight. Yeah, I mean, we'll get more news in 20 minutes. Should I start Dexter Williams for Green Bay? I would only start him if Aaron Jones is ruled out. Favorite sub 1K option? I'll have a lot of Trent Taylor tonight, but I like a good amount of them. Tyler Ervin I have a little bit of. I have a good amount of Richie James. I'll have even more Dexter Williams as well, if indeed Aaron Jones is out. You helped me get 5th in the Millie Maker last year. Shout out to you. That's all you, man. Showdowns are great for raking up some extra funds for Sunday. Yeah, most people, though, they're going to be lowering their funds for Sunday. Just signed up for Patreon today, says Ray Ray's Payday. Hey, welcome to the family. Welcome home. All I see is Sal knows his shit. Thanks, appreciate it. Mercedes Lewis over 6.5 yards. Yeah, that's just not a bet that I ever want to play. You might as well just go to the roulette wheel on virtual roulette. I mean, why do I want to bet on a guy who gets 1 or 2 targets a game having over 6.5 yards? Think San Francisco sends McKinnon as a main wide receiver. I think McKinnon will run a lot of routes tonight. I think he'll run upwards of 25 to 30 routes tonight, yeah. What's your biggest GPP win, Sal? Well, 17.7K, but I've also won 16K. Those are both this year. Couple things nuance that. I don't really play the large field GPP, so you probably will rarely find me winning 50 to 100K or $1 million or $200,000. I just think that people that chase those, 99% of those people lose. Oh, but Sal, I saw a guy with one lineup screenshot it on Twitter and said he won. Yeah, that's the 0.1%. If you're going to live your life trying to hit 0.1% outcomes, most people are going to end up in a bad situation. At least from a gambling perspective, right? Not from like a be creative with your job and go and do things. That actually has a lot of upside because not enough people do that. But yeah, I play basically single entry 3 max. Like a lot of the contests, like the 777 that I just played, that 140 people in it, it had $20,000 up top. Now some people are like, boo, $20,000. Like what's that? I mean, if I bank the $20,000, which we've come in now in that contest 7th, 6th, and 3rd so far this year. So we've had some really good weeks. Or actually, yeah, 3rd was the week that hit 17.7K overall. Bro, when game start? Okay, so that wasn't a sentence, but the game starts at 8:20. Is Reed taking away from Taylor's projection? Not much, no. Swift or Hasty? Because I don't really have Taylor projected for a red zone roll anyways, but it basically cancels out his red zone roll now. When will we know the Richie news? 6:50, the injury reports come out. Rodgers is the GOAT, correct, easily. If Aaron Rodgers is out or an emergency back, do you like Richie James or Dexter Williams more? Dexter Williams. Mullins and James or Hasty and Gold? I don't want to kicker tonight, so Mullins and James. What's your thoughts on CHE Sunday? I don't really have any interest. Tomorrow morning will be my closing thoughts show for Week 9 main slate. No real stances right now. Optimal captain besides Rodgers or Adams? Probably Hasty after that, if I just want to look at my exposure. Hasty or Aaron Jones? COVID... Mullins plus James or Hasty plus Gold for heads up DK? Answered that. Why is the game start at 8:20? I mean, what do you mean, why does the game start at 8:20? You want me to change the schedule? Come on, guy. What the fuck this guy's saying in here? Sal, you always talk about having 150 lineups. Which 150 max contests are you playing? So, yeah, not the Millie Maker. That's a good question. I won't play the Millie Maker 150. Every other one that you see in there. The 50-cent one, the $1, $3, $5. Hopefully, whenever they have $5, they rarely have the $5 ones. And then sometimes I'll play the $9 usually I'll play the $9 on Sundays. But I don't get crazy with these showdown slates. Like, right now I have contest reserved. I don't have any single entry or 3 max. I'll probably play this. I'm looking at it right now. It has a lot of spots left. This $180 single entry lineup. Or not, that's not even a single entry, which is ass. It's a 74. So I'm probably not even going to play that. There's like $100 single entries. One doesn't have many people. One only has 66 people. So here's a contest. 66 people, $1,200, $1,250 up top, $1,250. 13 people out of the 66 get paid $100, but it's a small field. So there's a small field for people that are in kind of that mid-stakes range. But there's the $3 20 max tonight. There's the $1 20 max tonight. And then there's the $150 max at the $33 tonight. And then there's the 50 cents. There's dollar ones as well. So normally in the main slates, I'll play 50 cents up to, depends on the week. Like if I'm getting very heavy in the 777 or the 1500 for single entry and 3 max, I won't play the $9. But usually I will. Why no kickers tonight? Because there's a lot of guys below their price tag that project out better. So I don't want to waste it. When's the next vlog coming? Yeah, I have a lot of footage. I just haven't put together a story for the vlog yet in terms of like a sequence. Just haven't really felt the need or want to edit one together. I have a lot of footage. It's kind of all over the place. So I'll have to try and edit something together, like a 7 to 9 minute something. Should I accept Lockett and Allen for Brady and Hill? Which Allen? Josh Allen? What is that? I would want the side in Tyreek Hill. I would want the side with Tyreek Hill. Unless Josh Allen means Keenan Allen. I don't know what that means. Swift or Hasty? I'd go Hasty. Sal, helping me in the 12th place finish last weekend with the Chiefs stack. $1 won me 75. Nice, Robert. That's awesome. That's a huge 75x ROI. Nice. I'm winning my golf picks on Superdraft and FanDuel thanks to you. Insane. I love Superdraft. Yeah, Superdraft is a ton of fun, Brian. I feel like the amount of people that we've been able to grow over to Superdraft, I feel like we have like 50% of that company's like action right now. I'm going to have to reach out to them for an ownership stake. Brand new, just subscribe. Want to win some dollar rooskies. Frank, my man's only been here for one video and he already knows the terms. Welcome aboard. Where are you from, Sal? Originally Staten Island, New York. Grew up in Pennsylvania, went to school in Penn State, and now I live Southern. I think it's going to be needed to have $2,500 remaining in the captain to be contrarian. Sounds good. I hit the under 50. Nice. What's up, brother? What's going on, Brandon? How long have we been live right now? Hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all those things for me. I appreciate that. Also, I'll call again. Go over to Super Draft. We literally got multiple people winning 4 and now 5 figures, and pretty decent 5 figures, 30K plus these last couple of weeks, just from using the projections on Patreon, doing all that stuff. And even if you don't have the access to projections on Patreons, you'll be at I would say, a disadvantage compared to the people who do, but overall, you'll still have a pretty good sense of what to do. There's a link to Patreon if you want to sign up. We've actually now had record-setting numbers at 482 Patrons. We're approaching 500. I assume we probably get there close to the end of the week. So shout out all of you. Dexter or Tyler Ervin? If Aaron Jones is active, I'd go Tyler Ervin. If I really don't want either of them all that much, but Tyler Ervin. If Aaron Jones is not active and not stepping on the field, Dexter Williams. Do you like MVS tonight? 20% or so. Favorite Packer tonight? Devontae Adams. Who's the best captain? Devontae Adams. Somebody says Pittsburgh. With the I like Pittsburgh. I like that area. It's kind of in no man's land for where a lot of people that I know are, so I would never probably live there, but I like Pittsburgh. It's a cool city. The bronze boot tonight. Thanks for the work, Sal. Thank you, Robert. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Too kind of you. Too kind. What are we at right now? We gained a good amount of subscribers during this. Very nice, very nice. Favre to Jennings. Screw Jennings. Special guest announcement tonight? No, none tonight. We could have had one if I pushed for it, but none tonight. We've actually hit record high numbers, believe it or not, right now, actually. We're over 1,400 live concurrent viewers. That is the first time that we've done that on a Showdown slate ever. We've had 1,500, I believe. This might be a lie of mine. I think 1,400 might be our highest ever, so you're part of history right now. Pretty crazy for a Thursday night slate that has just the wonkiest guys on it right now. It's pretty cool. You live in Stapleton Hill Projects? I don't know what that means. San Francisco wide receivers. Yeah, I mean, the wide receivers tonight are going to be Trent Taylor, Richie James. If he's active, we'll have news in 15 minutes. And then they called up Kevin White. The guys that are available on Draftkings, at least, they called up Kevin White and River Craycraft. They also called up some other guy as well that he's not available, so I don't even remember his name. Who is the one jabroni who clicked the thumbs down? I mean, it counts as a thumbs up, so I'll take it. Is George Kittle making an appearance in this video? No, but we'll be hitting some golf balls soon. 2K in the Super Draft. Thanks, Sal. Nice. See, everybody up in here getting that Super Draft money. Go take their money. I don't care. It's not my money, Super Draft's money. Go take it. Go win Super Draft's money. Use promo code SAL when you do it. Is Fred Warner in or out? I assume that he's in. I don't know why he wouldn't be, but we'll check. We'll check on that in 15 minutes once the news reports come out. See a lot of people right now signing up for Patreon. We have Rodrigo signed up. Zach just signed up. William just signed up. Welcome to everybody. Zach, Zach, you signed up for the All Sports package. So if you want the Showdown stuff, you can upgrade at no additional cost. A lot of people signing up. Very nice. Very nice. Warner is playing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Hasty or McKinnon? I'll have more Hasty. Will you change the yes, no, maybes after the injury reports? Yeah, but I probably will not be live anymore. So you can check them out. They'll be updated on Patreon. I usually go live for about an hour, so I'll probably just be getting off. I'll probably get done with this around 7, so maybe I'll be on in time. But it also takes a couple minutes to update the projections and get the data to all transfer for what I'm trying to do. So I'll probably do that off screen. So if you want to make sure that you have the updated injury reports and all that news, I'll try and touch on it if the injury reports come out in time. But definitely on Patreon, they'll be updated, yes. San Francisco wide receiver homies, which ones are active? We'll know which ones are active in 14 minutes. 1,400, somebody says, yeah, 1,400. You think we can get to 1,500? I think it dropped below. We're at like 1,398 right now. Wide receiver for San Francisco. Okay, I don't know why I keep saying this. Craycraft or White tonight? We have to see what happens with Richie James. If Richie James is out, I actually probably go Craycraft, otherwise White, but neither of them are what I'm playing in like one lineup tonight. Definitely don't want to play either of them in one lineup. Nick Mullins on FanDuel. I don't play FanDuel, so I don't know. Sal, do you like any defenses tonight? Just the Packers, if you're going to choose. Des caught it, somebody says. No, he did not, based on the rule, but if you're talking about backyard football, yes. If you're talking about the NFL rule at the time, no, he did not. Saw someone just bet 2K at San Fran will tonight. Yeah, that doesn't do much for me. No interest. Best players on San Francisco to play. JaMychal Hasty and probably Nick Mullins. Richie James is pretty good, too. Fade Rodgers in a single entry to be contrarian? Sure. I don't have 100% Rodgers. You don't have to play him. I basically have 100% Adams. I would advocate to very strongly play Adams. I don't have 100% Rodgers, but I have 99% Rodgers tonight. But yeah, you can fade Rodgers if you want. I probably won't. If Aaron Jones is active, it's easier to fade Rodgers, though. I trust Aaron Jones to pick up some yards and touchdowns more than Dexter Williams. Everyone, thumbs up. Yeah, hit the thumbs up. Hit the subscribe. Do all those things. Appreciate it. Also, if you're not yet, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm going to throw it up in here. And also, more people have done it this week, like 5, so that's pretty cool. But if you want to leave a review on the podcast, rating and review, 5 stars, takes like 30 seconds. The Sal Vetri Show on either Stitcher or the Sal Vetri Show on the Apple Podcast, you're entered into a raffle to win $50. That is just leave a way for me to contact you, and I reach out to one person a week. So be sure to do that as well if you want to. It takes like 30 seconds. You can probably do it right now during the stream. We're up to like 520 reviews. If we can start getting to like 700 or 800 range, we might start pushing the top 10 podcasts for fantasy football up there with the ESPNs and CBSs in the world and the people that just dominate because of the large networks that they're on. Cody says, Sal, how do you upgrade at no additional cost, brother? On Patreon, if you're like a $19.99 member in all sports package or an NFL basic, you just go back into the tiers. You click on the one that says $35 and it only charges you the difference. Or you click on the one that says $50 for Hall of Fame, it only charges you the difference. So you just go in there and act like you're buying a new one, but it will only charge you the difference. So let's just say that you're a $19.99 member for NFL basic, and then you realize, oh man, there's all sports. I'm missing out for free basically to get golf projections and rankings and soon to be ownership. It's the same price for all sports. $19.99 won't charge you a dime. It'll just roll into it. I just got on. Sorry. What are your thoughts about the Aaron Jones situation? We'll have more news hopefully in 11 minutes. If we don't get any more news than we currently have, I think he'll either have his normal role or he will literally be out there as an emergency back and see 0 touches. Sell me on Hasty, please. Yeah, he's going to get the early down work. He ran 14 routes last week. If this game indeed goes as if they're touchdown underdogs, I think he'll run closer to 15, 16 routes. And he's way cheaper right now than what you're getting, at least a decent amount cheaper, $800 cheaper than McKinnon. I have him projected for almost 15 fantasy points. If you're telling me that he's getting the goal line work, he's going to see 10 to 12 carries even in a bad game script, or 15 to 16 plus in a good game script or neutral, plus passing game work. He's $7,200 and he has a lot of upside for 2 touchdowns relative to everybody else in the slate. Even if Aaron Jones is active, he won't get the ball, they're saying. I mean, whoever's saying that just doesn't know either. So, like, you're listening to, like, somebody writing a blurb who doesn't know what they're talking about either, whether it's Roto World, whoever it might be, right? So, I don't think that we need to put too much stock into that. If it's the coach said something or a running back coach said something and we have a report on that just came out in the last 5 minutes, then I'll believe it. But somebody writing in a blurb that Aaron Jones might be limited tonight, that does nothing for us, right? That means he might be limited. I can say that he might play, he might have 20 touches tonight, right? It means there's no difference in those statements, and nobody knows. I think Aaron Jones will either be all in or all out, meaning that he will be healthy. He'll be either ruled out in 10 minutes or he'll be all in, getting his normal run, or all out, meaning that if he's actually active, he's just an emergency back. Get Money says, I unsubscribed. Dude didn't answer one of my questions. Imagine being that entitled. Well, there's 1,400 people asking questions in a chat, and this guy doesn't get his answered within. He commented it, and then he commented his next one 3 questions later. So he gave me about 30 seconds to read something that is by far going to take me like minutes to even get to. Imagine the entitlement. That's how you weed out the bad subscribers and followers. Very easy. Very easy. We also won't answer his question just because. Principle. Is it okay to play Hasty and McJarrick? Yeah, I think that's fine. Loki YouTube legend. Appreciate it. LOL by Get Money. Yeah, just a sad life. Hit the like button. Definitely do it. Just signed up for Super Draft. Nice. Yeah, sign up for Super Draft. Promo code Sal. You get some extra $1 in there. I talked to Aaron earlier. He said to fade him. Nice. White or Taylor tonight? Trent Taylor for me. Somebody said River Ray Craycraft. Is that? Am I pronouncing that right? Craycraft won me a little bucks last year in college football. Do you like Craycraft? I think I got like 8% or something. An unsubscriber. Yeah, I mean, definitely unsubscribe, please. All of us are asking questions, definitely. White or Taylor? Taylor. Mullins or Jones tonight? Mullins or Aaron Jones tonight? I will have more Mullins. Somebody says, I want to win big. What a schmuck. I like that word. Savage. The entitled and the needy that Jeff commented. Hasty in the captain spot, I have a decent amount, yeah. Every reason to play the same lineup multiple times. See these methods often. Yeah, if you think you have a really good if you think you have the optimal lineup, then you can run a train in like 50-50s if it's a cash lineup. I'm not going to be playing the same lineup in tournaments though. You're reducing your upside. So don't play the same lineup in tournaments is my opinion, because like running a train in tournaments, you don't have a unique lineup. You can't, obviously if you win first place, then you'll win the top 150 fucking prizes, but I don't have an interest. Are Dalaruski's legal tender? I don't know what that means. Will it be smart to put a kicker in the captain spot? No. Who scores more points, Tonyan or Trent? I have right now them projected for. I have Trent projected for more. Can you tell me which $200 player will score the most points? Yeah, it depends on what happens with Aaron Jones. If Aaron Jones is going to be active, I think Trent Taylor scores the most points, but I'll also follow that with a decent amount of ownership tonight. Trent Taylor is probably going to be coming in Maybe not even with enough ownership. Like he probably comes in total ownership of like maybe 25, 30%. I'm going to have way more than that for Trent Taylor, like triple. Yeah, I see a bunch of people just following on Twitter. We're closer to 10,000 Twitter followers, too. We're like 300 away. So right now, if you have a Twitter and you're not yet following me over there, be sure to follow on Twitter. I just put it in here. Dollarooskies and Sal we trust. Yeah, hopefully these t-shirts can come soon. My graphics guy, Brendan, he gave me an update today. I challenge you to a head-to-head. Yeah, you can send me head-to-heads if you want for the main slate, but I'm not doing any head-to-heads or cash games. I mean, I don't even play cash games. I haven't played cash games since week 3, I think it was. I got tired of back-to-back weeks of getting hurt by like Paris Campbell. Getting hurt and losing like 60% of my entries or all my entries like immediately. I'm unsubscribing and subscribing again. I can't go on without the info. I'm a fiend. That's funny. How much salary is remaining in your lineup, Sal? I play like 150, so some lineups will have $800 on the table. Some lineups will have $4,000. Some lineups will have $1,500. They will all have at least $700 on the table though. Who's gonna look for driver in the player pool? Yeah, too young if you have to. What is Super Draft? Yeah, Shift. So Super Draft's a multiplier format. It's a DFS site that's a multiplier format, not salary cap based, and they don't have a lot of pros over there. They don't have a lot of contests filling all the time. I think there's $3,500 up top tonight for the main Showdown slate. They have $25,000 up top for the Sunday slates. We had a subscriber take down the main slate, the Showdown slates. We've had guys just winning everything over there with the projections on Patreon. Basically, like people who are playing on Super Draft right now, they're either a subscriber of mine and they have projections, or they're probably playing without projections. So we have a nice little advantage, I would say. Irving or Dexter with no Jones. I would go to Dexter Williams more, but having both of them is also fine. But yeah, Shift Fusion. If you want to try Super Draft, if you use promo code SAL, my name, you'll get a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. So you get some free money as well. How long have we been live? We've been live right now for exactly an hour, literally to the exact second. These reports come out in 5 minutes. I'll stay on for the injury reports that come out, and we can give some thoughts on those as they come out right away. But we have to wait, I guess, a little bit more to get some official news. Entering somebody in the Discord, practices with wire shears. Sal, you're a legend, the only DFS content maker I watch on a regular basis. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, a lot of people just spew the same information, and they're like 50-year-old dudes that have no personalities. It's rough out there. Now, there's some dudes who make some very, very good content that are older, too. I'm not going to be an ageist. I think that Matt Kelly, he makes very good content, the Podfather. Pat Mayo makes fantastic content as well, both entertaining and informing for both of those guys. I don't really listen to much other content. I enjoy what Nick BDGE does. Fantasy football advice, I enjoy what those guys do too. I just don't really watch or listen to much content in general. But yeah, I also like don't even know like half the guys that are on Twitter that either follow me or that I even follow. I don't even know if they have content. Obviously, I think the Awesome guys are all great. I think that goes without saying. I do shows with them, so obviously I wouldn't be doing them if I didn't think so. Will Aaron Jones play tonight? I know you're a Cheesehead fan. No idea. We'll know in 4 minutes. Did the host give his thoughts on Dwelly? The host. Thank you. That's so professional of you. Yeah, I have like 2% Robert Dwelly. 50-year-olds with no personality. I mean, come on. Like, I think Matt Kelly said it best on his, Matt Kelly is very good at what he does. I think he said it best on his most recent podcast. He was like, social media is literally like a game. Like, you have to view it as a video game, and obviously be respectful. But if you don't, like, you're going to have like mental issues and all this stuff. But like all these guys, like, oh my God, so self-serious and like some of them like getting in fights, like 50-year-old men getting in fights when like they're like 11-year-old kid is sleeping next to them on Twitter. And they're just like, yeah, I got him. Like, come on. That's brutal. Sal, you and Al are the best in the business. Al Seinfeld, yeah. I used to watch Smiz' stuff like 4 years ago, before I started doing stuff. It was definitely a little bit inspirational, I would say, in terms of like starting my own thing up because it made me look into it a little bit more. But I haven't really watched, nothing against Smiz. I just don't watch content much. I'll listen to a couple of podcasts if I think they're good podcasts. I think Roto World does a nice recap in PFF, so I listen to those on Monday just to catch any other things that those guys who are watching all the games catch. Then I do my own review and I get into it, and sometimes if I have extra time when I'm running and I want to listen to a podcast, I'll put one on, but usually I'm trying to listen to audiobooks. Give a shout out to me, boss. I'm Red Zone Blitz Liz. I don't know what Red Zone Blitz is, but on top, OFID, okay. You and the Podfather are the only guys to listen to. I appreciate that. Yeah, I would like to maybe get on a call or something with Matt Kelly. I don't know if anybody in here. I think there's a lot of people up in here. I haven't even tried to reach out, so I could probably try that. Wow, but we're almost at 1,500 people right now. 1,476. We're at the record high that we actually had. Do you think we can get to 1,500? Tell your mother, your brother, your friend, your aunt, your uncle. But yeah, I would like to get on a call with Matt Kelly. I think that he, one, from a business standpoint, and understanding how this all works, right? Not being self-serious, being aware of a personality on a show as well. Like, if you guys think Matt Kelly's personality is actually his personality, he literally admits multiple times a year that it's just literally a caricature. He will also basically say that it's like very similar to the WWE, right? Those guys, like, after the time, they're drinking beers, they're having fun with each other, even though they're talking about hating each other during it. People believe that, and it gets people involved. I won 2 racks on Super Draft MMA. No help from you, Dingus. Game Day says no help from you, Dingus. Yeah, I mean, if I covered MMA, it would probably be help from you. Congrats to you. Sal vs. Al cage match got to happen. Yeah, I'd go on it if you asked me. Sal, I've watched everyone. You put together the best information and don't make people buy stuff. Mad respect. I mean, I have a Patreon, but yes, the free shows, all these companies that are getting together in the fantasy industry and they're like teaming up and they're putting all their content behind a paywall, that's good for the people up top that own those companies. They're going to get a quick payday for like 3 to 5 years. But when all the growth stops, when all the Twitter audiences stop growing because you don't have organic content out there, you're going to be screwed. Yeah, the injury reports come out in 2 minutes. I'm going to go over those and then be done. Watching the NFL and they just put Aaron Jones just jogging around. Yeah, it doesn't help us much. Trent Taylor matchup. He'll be in the slot a lot, so Sullivan's going to be healthy. Just saw Aaron Jones running on TV, so it doesn't look too bad, but I guess I mean, like, jogging on the TV doesn't mean anything. There's no cutting there. There's no impact or weight on your, like, other people's weights tackling you, so, like, that's not really going to get me to go one way or the other. Just hopping on, what's up? Injuries news, Downwinds asks. Yeah, so I don't know, like, have you been informed at all in terms of injury news? Because Ayuk and, like, these guys aren't playing. Alan Lazard's not playing. Aaron Jones might be playing and might be limited. Injury reports come out in 1 minute, though. We're waiting on Richie James and Aaron Jones. Pitch to Patreon for a second, brother. Info question mark? Yeah, a lot of info. As of tomorrow, for the first time, we will have ownership projections for NFL. We have projections and rankings in general, point projections and rankings. We have 20-plus pages of game-by-game notes that go out tomorrow as well. We have Showdown information for Monday and Thursday night. We have a Closing Thoughts podcast Sunday for GPPs. I go over my rules, exposures, and the way that you will be winning, all that type of stuff. There's a lot more. There's a whole – I'll put the link to Patreon down below right now. You can basically just go in there and see what's all included. And also know that in those included, I have to add in the ownership projections, which now that I'm talking about this, I'm going to go do that right now. Love your content. You actually helped me win. I'm happy to hear that. If you watch Fantasy Focus, the whole show is just Yates and the others trying to get Matthew Berry to stop talking. Yeah, no, I never watch that stuff. What's the most you've won on Draftkings? In one contest, 17.7K. And 16K is the second most. Proud to say I was here with 200 views. Awesome to see the channel grow. Well deserved. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, the injury report should be coming out, so just keep an eye on the Packers Twitter and Packers team Twitter and also San Fran. As of right now, Aaron Jones is active as of 37 seconds ago. Bakhtiari is out. So the Packers injury report has Aaron Jones active. All right, cool. The Green Bay inactives tonight. Kevin King is out yet again. Bakhtiari is out, and that's basically all you need to know. We're still waiting on San Francisco's. So Aaron Jones is officially active. Again, that really doesn't help us too much because we don't know. I'm projecting him to be a full go active. That's what I'm personally going to do. I'm going to project him to be a full go active. If he's an emergency back, so be it. We just had no idea. The inactives for the 49ers tonight is just Tevin Coleman on the offensive side. So Richie James and Aaron Jones are active. I'm going to project Aaron Jones for a normal role. Right now I have him projected for 80% on Patreon. I might update that. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. With all that new injury news out, we don't really have to change anything. There's nothing to update. Richie James still looks fine. The Closing Thoughts podcast on Patreon is gold, says Gerald. Yeah, I think that is. There's a lot of good pieces. Ownership projections will be good as well, but I think that's going to be a big one. If Jones gets close to his normal work, what do you have him projected for? Around 16 fantasy points. If it's his normal work exactly, like 18. Thoughts on Jones now that he's active? I think he'll still be a little injured. Yeah, nothing changes for me in terms of Jones just getting the news that he's active. We still don't know if it's an emergency back active or if he's going to be a full go. I'm projecting him to be a full go. I watch you and the Awesome Boys and Smiz. All are fire. Others is your siblings in this content game. I like that, you siblings. All right, I'm going to bounce. I'll update the projections if I think that we need to change anything for Aaron Jones. Right now, the projection that's in there I feel comfortable with, so I think we'll go with that. So nothing to update. Nothing to update on Patreon. I think everything is good to go. I will just track any news that comes out about Aaron Jones maybe being an emergency back or anything like that. But outside of that, I think we are good to go. So appreciate everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Like and subscribe before you go. Check out Patreon and also Super Draft. I'm about to just change some things right now. Just to make people aware that the ownership projections are actually coming out in the basic package for NFL. If Jones is a full go, do you still like Mullins more? If Jones is a full go, I will like Jones more. Alrighty. Thank you. Peace out, everybody. Appreciate you a ton. The inactives, nothing new. no news that's really going to change anything. So appreciate it. Like and subscribe before you go. I'll see you all on the next one tomorrow morning. Closing thoughts and the prop betting show from Dylan Bird. Saturday, that one, dude, and then Sunday, our live stream. And also, if you're a patron, which you should be, go sign up down below. You'll get the Closing Thoughts podcast. Peace out, everybody.